Welcome to Fifth Dimensional Life, Mass Human Awakening. I'm Lisa, your host. I'm going to be discussing how NASA has hired about 24 theologians to study how humans will react to ET contact. And some of them they're preparing humans for ET contact. Let's dive into this and be sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your ideas, and yeah, let's get into it. So NASA has hired these 24 theologians to study human reaction to aliens or ETs. So first of all, NASA is a government program. It is an oligopoly within lots of corrupt systems. There's so much controversy around it, even around their logo, how it's developed, like the devil horns in it. They've lied so many times about so many things, and they're paying these religious people who are like the head of religious organizations to study and also most likely create a guide, a new book of how humans should react to aliens. This word aliens is like a separate type of being. It's not like we are all one together, like extraterrestrials or celestial beings. This is a very controversial type word as well, even though I use it sometimes when my audience is mainly human beings. But this word, there's a lot of things just in this sentence that is so heavy. It's so loaded. And this just looks like a train wreck waiting to happen. And this recently happened at the end of December. So, this kind of makes my stomach turn. At the same time, I'm excited because, this is on mainstream news. It's on so many news sites all over. Lots of people are talking about it. Yet, yes, the whole world needs to know that there are other beings. We're not alone. We were never alone. ETs have been here all along, but are they actually going to disclose all of that information? No, hell no, no way. NASA and the government and all of the agencies, the oligopolies that surround this and all their buddies, they're going to tailor the messages to fit their agenda, which is they want to control the world. They want to keep being these parasitic beings that are feeding off of their slaves, like the human slaves. And we're not slaves. We don't ever want to be slaves ever again. So, and then the theologians, the people who run the religious organizations, that's a whole other topic in itself. Ultimately, like every religion, all of the major large corporations and governments of the world, they have all been infiltrated. All of them have been infiltrated by malevolent beings, by reptilians, by the Greys, by just people who are greedy, selfish, who want to have full world control, who want to keep humanity enslaved, dumbed down. There's so many great things about spirituality. Like we are innately spiritual beings. Same with extraterrestrials. We connect to them, to God as well, to everyone. We are all connected together. And religions were created basically to control people and to be greedy, which it's sad because there are really amazing things about spiritual organizations, and they are able to help people in so many different ways. Spirituality is one of the most important things in life. But when it's, turned and tilted to a certain way to fit a specific agenda, like a control agenda, it can be extremely malevolent and very dangerous too. And then especially, you know, when we're connecting with our cosmic families, we are related to ETs. We have over 20 different types of extraterrestrial farmer race genetics within our DNA. So, you know, like there's so many lies upon lies upon lies upon lies, which I cover a lot through the Great Awakening maps another video. So, you know, I am feeling like they're going to be putting out more lies tailored to fit their agenda. And we got to watch out for them. And if they're going to actually spin the narrative that ETs are a threat, which is what Dr. Stephen Greer has been talking about for decades. There's that Alejandro lasagna guy. No, he's been on lots of different talk shows and things like that. And he's a paid government operative that, you know, spinning that, oh, ETs can be dangerous. Well, the dangerous ones have been here on Earth for a very, very long time. The reptilians have been here before humans were. Who do you think created the dinosaurs? Who? Really? Come on. You know, Greys have been here for many, many decades working with the government. Our planet has already been infiltrated. There has already been an invasion, very successful for the malevolent side for eons, for a very, very long time. And cosmically, that's what our planet was in the Piscean age, the dark ages. And now we're in the Aquarian age of Christ consciousness. The tide is turning, and agencies and religions and people who control or who want to be in control of the world for malevolent reasons, you know, they are trying to spin the narrative right now. So let's just be very, very careful with, you know, what we hear coming out. And if you hear other things coming out from NASA and other places, I want to hear about them. I would love for you to share your links in the comment section below. I was looking up here on Reddit about some people's comments. It's pretty interesting what they're saying here. Why hasn't NASA done this before? Why the sudden urgency? Because there's so many crafts up in the sky and they can't hide it anymore. Even though many of those crafts that are cited are US government owned, you know, the cat's been out of the bag for so long. It's just people who are in complete denial. And I have lots of those people in my life too, like my parents, some of my family members, you know, they're just like, oh, like, you can't be communicating with extraterrestrials. There's no way. Oh, there's only like maybe 3 possible planets, when in reality, every planet can basically host life. Or, you know, like the sun, ET beings can take power from the plasmic energy radiating from the sun. So, you know, and there's just been so many sightings, even in deep space, like that one outside of Hawaii. I forget the name of it. Alessandro Feller. He might be onto something. Well, he's being paid to say what he's saying. People on TV are reading scripts. They're not typically thinking for themselves. The Pope made a statement a few years ago. I was really excited actually when the Pope made that statement. I think it was in 2014 or 2016 or something, that he would baptize aliens and he wouldn't judge people who believe in extraterrestrials. He also made another statement, I believe it was around that same time, that he was not going to judge people for being gay or LGBTQ plus minus. So I thought that was, you know, that was like a big tide turning at that point as well. Lots of people talking about so many different things. But yeah, what is the urgency? Why right now? And they're saying because of drilling on Mars and the telescope, or maybe it's because of the thousands of sightings, plus the billions of people who are doing SETI or like CE5 communication. I created a CE5 group here where I'm in as well. So I'm going to make some more videos here about CE5s and even do like a live CE5 one of these nights coming up. Anyways, like if I was in the position to tell theologians about extraterrestrial beings, which I have been in the position a few times where, you know, people who have been indoctrinated by religious texts, just religion in general, those people, you know, they're so fixated on the complexes that religious organizations have created for them. The information was programmed into them. They didn't originate any of the thought behind it, or, you know, they haven't questioned it enough. You know, a lot of the questions that I get was like, well, God wouldn't create extraterrestrials. We're the only ones here. There's no possibility of life anywhere else. It would take them forever to get here. They wouldn't be able to travel those, you know, billions of light years to get here. They're just demons, right? So, and the things that I learned early on, especially throughout 2020, the big things that came out, one of the main ones, and this is probably one of my favorite things that I've learned about extraterrestrial beings, is that they know God exists and they have amazing relationships with God. So just that alone, you know, created light bulbs in people's heads that, you know, wasn't there before. That, whoa, extraterrestrials know God. They know God exists, and they also know Jesus exists. Wow, that's pretty shocking, right? And it's true. They know the one creator, like the law of one, that is so much around. You know, like it's 5 books, but really it is centered around like we are all one and we are created by the one infinite creator, and to, you know, live a benevolent life of service to others. And then you can kind of go another step forward of like service to the one infinite creator, and those are typically beings who are neutral. And then there's, of course, the malevolent beings who are service to self, who you know, are not good. They yeah. So, you know, people who are heavily indoctrinated or just who are heavily programmed into religion, they need to know that extraterrestrial beings know and love God, and they have an amazing relationship with God and Jesus. So that's kind of a first center keystone. And then the next part is to that ETs, the majority of them are benevolent, loving beings. They have advanced technology to travel anywhere and everywhere very, very fast. They live in, you know, we are actually all multidimensional beings living in a multidimensional universe. And there's many different universal laws that kind of contain everything. But many of these beings are living in higher dimensions or higher vibratory states. And it's not easy for them to come to this low third density planet, even though we are shifting to higher densities. It takes so much energy for them to come here and be in their physical form. Some of them can only be in their physical form on this planet for a short amount of time. Some of them are, they, you know, have different types of strengths in them where they can stay a bit longer. Like even the Venusians, they are typically like fifth dimensional beings. And so it's a little bit less of a jump for them to come here. Reptilians, they have technology, like fourth dimensional technology, to come into the third dimension density. Sometimes they'll just do it as a hologram, or, you know, kind of like a vision or something like that. But in the fifth dimension, the reptilian 4D technology will not work. And it's, you know, even throughout 2018, 2019, their technology was starting to not work as well, especially during concerts, when people's vibration would be so uplifted and the whole crowd, the vibration's contagious, right? So the whole crowd would emit this huge, incredible vibratory state. And then the person singing, who, you know, actually sold their soul, to do like for soul harvesting to the Greys and reptilians and so on and whatnot, they would not be able to stay in their fourth dimensional state of like their shapeshift state. And it's happened to quite a few different performers, like Adele. She shapeshifted in the middle of a concert in, I think, somewhere in Australia, and she had to cancel her whole tour, the rest of her show. So I believe this is why too that they're starting to put a lot more haste on disclosing certain aspects of extraterrestrials, different types of technology, certain things that's going to help humanity awaken. But they're controlling it again because they don't want to lose control over the billions and billions of people out there who they're sucking life force from, right? But eventually they will lose control, and we have the ability to literally like kick them off this planet. And, you know, that's going to happen, especially with the event that's coming up too. I have a video on the event. So lots of really cool things happening. But again, if you have someone who's, you know, super into religion, just let them know, like, God is so incredibly powerful. God is so great that he can create anything and everything and more. And, you know, he created us. We are fractals of the universe, which is essentially God. And same with all extraterrestrial beings. Their souls are also fractals of the universe. They are God's children too, just like us. And extraterrestrials, they have, we're kind of like their babies in a lot of ways. And they look at us like we're kind of like their little offspring because we do share DNA with them. And they are, you know, the benevolent ones are in line with God's greater purpose. And, you know, they hold that higher loving vibration for us as well. So again, those are really key points, especially, yeah, if you were if you were raised religious. You know, I was raised with parents who are like super, super Christian. I went to Catholic school. I had a lot of that stuff drilled into my mind. You know, it's hard to undo a lot of this programming, especially when there's a lot of fear around it too. Religions put so much fear into people. You know, if you just even question the beliefs or try and think like for yourself, you don't want to have the wrath of God come on you, when actually like God is so benevolent and loving. Anyways, I feel like I'm rambling, but I hope that gives you lots to think about. And if you have any other questions and resources, please put them in the comment section below. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video.